In the heart of deserts so vast they swallowed entire civilizations. Where the horizon shimmered like liquid glass, ancient nomads did the impossible. Without maps, compasses, or wells, they crossed hundreds of miles of lifeless dunes and always found water. No modern tools, no satélites. Yet, they could walk blind into the deserts, heart and know exactly where to dig. Archaeologists once dismissed these stories as legend until newly unearthed sites revealed evidence so precise it defied logic itself. This is the forgotten science of desert survival, where ancient wonders turned barren wastelands into living, breathing ecosystems. It begins with a question that has haunted explorers for centuries. How did humans survive the desert before the age of maps? From the sands of the Sahara to the plains of Arabia, ancient nomads roamed through worlds of heat and silence. To them, the desert wasn't a death trap, it was a system. A vast, coded landscape that spoke in signs most of us can no longer see. Archaeological excavations in the empty court of Arabia have uncovered routes marked by subtle patterns of rock alignment, hidden beneath centuries of drifting sand. They weren't random. These stones traced ancient pathways, invisible maps drawn by memory. Nomadic tribes like the Berbers and Tuaregs inherited these routes through generations of oral tradition. Their navigation wasn't written on parchment. It was carved into instinct. But the real mystery wasn't how they found their way. It was how they found water, the one thing the desert never gave freely. Recent discoveries in North Africa, Central Asia, and Arabia reveal an engineering sophistication few thought possible. These nomads didn't just find water. They created it using knowledge so advanced that hydrologists are still struggling to explain it. Beneath the dunes, unseen by modern eyes, lie vast labyrinths of ancient riverbeds, fossilized waterways that once carried life through deserts now bone dry. For thousands of years, nomads learned to read them. At first glance, the desert seems featureless, but under the blazing sun, the smallest cues reveal a hidden network. The shape of a dune's shadow, the angle of dry cracks in the soil, the flight path of migrating birds, each one a fragment of a larger pattern. When archaeologists used satellite imaging to retrace these routes, they discovered something astonishing. Nomadic encampments from millennia ago were clustered along lines that matched underground aquifers. In other words, the ancients knew where the water was centuries before modern geology confirmed it. Batau at a dig site near the Rub al Khali Desert, scientists uncovered fossilized wells and deep shafts carved into solid rock, leading straight to trapped ground. They weren't random digs. They aligned perfectly with fault lines, natural fractures where moisture condensed and pooled from shifting layers below. Nomads had learned to read these fractures by observing the surface, the growth of a single resilient shrub, the taste of the wind at dawn, or even the behavior of animals at twilight. In one Bedouin legend, a tribe could locate water simply by tasting a handful of sand at sunrise, detecting traces of mineral dampness too faint for instruments to register. Science has since confirmed that sand near subsurface water retains microscopic humidity at dawn, a signature the human senses, once trained, can detect. It wasn't the superstition. It was data processed through centuries of lived experience. But water wasn't only found, it was stored, protected, and managed through systems that turned fleeting rainfall into lifelines that lasted generations. Across the Iranian plateau, archaeologists discovered vertical shafts plunging into the earth, connected by sloping tunnels stretching for miles underground. They called them qanats. Long before Rome built aqueducts, Persian engineers perfected the qanat system tunnels that captured mountain runoff and channeled it beneath the desert surface, shielding it from evaporation. But what stunned researchers most was how nomadic tribes integrated this knowledge into a mobile lifestyle. They built temporary subterranean cities lined with clay and salt that collected dew and condensed air moisture overnight. When temperatures dropped, the air inside cooled enough for vapor to liquefy, producing drinkable water with no visible source. In the central Sahara, similar underground chambers were found, ancient fog catchers carved into rock faces, using condensation principles that modern desert architects are only beginning to replicate. Even more astonishing were the singing stones, boulders hollowed by ancient hands, placed along caravan routes to mark moisture points. When wind passed through their openings, they emitted low, whistling tones as signal to travelers that water was near. What science once dismissed as ritual objects are now being reclassified as acoustic waypoints, a living navigation system blending engineering, geology, and sound. Nomads didn't conquer the desert. They listened to it and engineered harmony from chaos, and beneath the silence of shifting sands, their knowledge endured, waiting for rediscovery. Modern science is now catching up. Using satellite radar and ground-penetrating scans, researchers are uncovering vast networks of ancient pathways, linking wells, oases, and hidden aquifers across thousands of miles. Every new discovery confirms what oral traditions always said: the desert was never empty. It was alive with knowledge. Nomads map the invisible, not with lines on paper, but with patterns of stars, plants, winds, and sound. Some of their methods are being revived today. In Morocco, local guides still locate underground water by watching how beetles move at dawn. Their trails point toward areas of higher moisture. In the Arabian desert, Bedouins use the wind compass, tracking temperature shifts across their cheeks to detect low-lying basins where humidity gathers. These are not myths. They are remnants of a scientific language we've almost forgotten. As climate change expands global deserts, engineers are turning back to these ancient practices for answers. Dew traps, underground reservoirs, and natural condensation systems are being modeled after nomadic methods, thousands of years old. Because the truth is as simple as it is profound. Survival never depended on technology. It depended on understanding. And the ancients understood what we have forgotten: that water is not found through power, but through patience, observation, and respect for the rhythms of the earth itself. Think about this right now. With all our satellites and sensors, we still struggle to find sustainable water in expanding deserts. Yet thousands of years ago, barefoot wanderers crossed endless dunes and built invisible maps of survival that outlasted empires. Their tools were memory, instinct, and listening, and they mastered what we still call impossible. Because true intelligence isn't just creating technology, it's learning from nature's code. The same code that once guided humans to life in a world that wanted them dead. They didn't just survive the desert, they turned it into their teacher. If this changed how you see desert engineering, hit that like button and also subscribe this channel for more rediscovered genius. And tell me in the comments, what other mystery should we uncover next?